Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy M.K.S here, back here with another video. I was just thinking before I made this, I know I do make up videos and I hope I don't bore people. So sometimes I do get a bit nervous. I don't know if you can tell, you probably can't tell, but I know I do stutter on my words as well sometimes. But anyway, I was thinking about this video, so I thought I'd make it in video form. Part of me was thinking, what if I just tried to send a message to FIFA somehow? But I thought if I have this message, at least I have some recorders. But anyway, here are some of my ideas and dreams, thoughts and plans and whatnot to work with FIFA. Let's say goals. I think that'd be quite fitting. For those who don't know, FIFA is the organisation which runs football internationally. It's the international governing body for football. So this video is mainly targeted, or these series of videos are mainly targeted towards those who love football, or at least like football, have some interest in football. And so cool, I suppose, those who might be interested in football. But I know it is kind of try and send a message to FIFA. If I can, I hope to copy and paste it and post it on FIFA's official Facebook and YouTube channels and things like that, and possibly find a way to send them a message. But I thought I'd have, if I make a version of it, it has a record rather than just leaving a voicemail or whatever. But anyway, for those who perhaps are not into football or soccer, hi Yolanda, by the way, like Yolanda from America, I'd love to know what could make you interested in football or soccer, as I say, or calcio or footy or whatever you call it, and what would you like to know about it, and how could more people be encouraged to get into it, which I hope to cover in these videos. So anyway, here goes. Here are a list of some of my thoughts on working with FIFA and my dreams for working with FIFA. So number one, I'd love to ask a question actually, which is to the audience, like, do you have any suggestions on how I could get started in terms of, first of all, let's say sending the message to FIFA, let's say, and second of all, I've done a list within a list now, but secondly, I hope it's not too confusing, but secondly, how I could actually start working with FIFA in terms of sharing my ideas as a neurodiverse person, as a neurodiverse mixed race person. I forgot to say in the intro, I want to say in the intro that I wish to work with FIFA as a neurodiverse and a mixed race person with some of my ideas. So promoting more diversity, which I again hope to come to. But yeah, so how could I send the message? And most importantly, I suppose, how could I work with FIFA and other international footballing bodies like UEFA and whatnot to promote the beautiful game all around the world? Number two, again, I've done a list within a list there, so I hope that's not too confusing. But secondly, as I say, I would love to bring together a group of neurodivergent people, i.e. people with dyslexia, ADHD, autism, and possibly some related conditions, to talk about out-of-the-box thinking ideas for instance, how football could be marketed, again, football, soccer, footy, calcio, whatever you want to call it, how it could be marketed all around the world to get more people into footy. And yeah, as a neurodivergent person and also as a mixed race person, so having more representation from people from different backgrounds. Again, hope to come to that in more details. Number three, I'd love to look into how FIFA can listen to the fans more. So before they make changes, it'd be cool if they looked into how into whether fans actually want to see those changes and give the fans more of a voice, which is, I suppose, my neurodivergent creativity. Although FIFA may well have thought of ideas like that, but not really wanting to listen to fans. But I think it would be good to listen to your customers, people who use your service, in this case, football, really, which is an entertainment business in many ways, although a lot of people just play it for fun. Just like many gaming businesses, people can still play for fun, but it's still kind of a business in many ways, to a certain extent. Obviously, they sell merchandise, and they make money from TV revenue and all sorts of different things like that, from like World Cups and things like that. So I think it would be good to listen to fans. Like I was thinking, like say, for instance, when they change the offside rule or the handball rule, or when they bring VAR in, or how they could use VAR, or things like that. I think it'd be cool to listen to fans, and maybe there could be opinion polls. There could be ways fans could write on websites, write on the YouTube channel, write on Facebook and things like that, on the official FIFA website and that kind of thing. And again, FIFA could have its own opinion polls, and fans could have their own comment section. I suppose they kind of do in a way on YouTube. Fans are welcome to comment, but it'd be good perhaps if FIFA even one took those ideas on board. Again, I'm doing a list within a list here, but one took those ideas on board, and second of all, maybe even replied to fans to reassure the fans that they are actually listening. Number 4, I'd love to look into ways like football can be used for good to make. I was going to say make love, not war. That probably is not appropriate, but I didn't mean it that way. But make peace, not war. Peace, not war, through football. So it does remind me. I often say this. I'm not that religious, but it does remind me of a biblical teaching which says swords into plowshares. So before I made this video, I had all the ideas in my head, but as soon as I come to, it often happens when I come to make the video, I stumble on my words and think I did plan this on in my head, if not on paper, at least I planned it in my head, but it still doesn't come out the way I want it to. But yeah, how football can be used for good, how football can get rid of, how football can be used to build bridges, cut crimes, tackle violence and wars, and things like that. So even internationally, that maybe FAs all around the world, football associations and organisations, football bodies, and even like FIFA and UEFA and so on and so forth, all those involved in football, how can they work with governments and police and things like that to cut crime, especially like corruption, match fixing and stuff like that, so fans can be reassured that the best team, or even if it's the luckiest team, wins, but not necessarily those who, or certainly not those, hopefully, who have bribed officials or anything like that. So to try and cut that out of the game, which is probably quite ironic as an Italian football fan, I've got to admit, but I hope Italian football, on that note, also works on that sort of thing. So I said before, like the sport I love and the teams I love, which are Italian teams, have both been involved in like things that lost their reputation, like match fixing or allegations of corruption and things like that. So it'd be good to improve the image of the beautiful game, and especially Italy itself, and also Celtic, which, I mean, obviously Celtic wasn't involved in such, but anyway, so I'm probably waffling. But one other idea I had was like, well, no, I'm waffling, I'm sorry, but is instead of investing in wars and things like that, so like there's a BDS campaign against Israel. Now, I like to be as neutral as possible, so I do want to be careful what I say. I don't want to offend anyone, take any sides or anything like that. I'd love to see a peaceful resolution, but if companies say we don't invest in wars, this is probably being very naive, but it would be good for FIFA itself, and possibly even for UEFA, and just the game itself, and all those involved in the game, and hopefully especially Italian football and Celtic, if instead of investing in wars, they invested in Italian football and Celtic, and hopefully the market will reward them. But again, I could be being very naive here. I would love to know in the comment section, as ever, on each of these points, what do you think about them, and would you be prepared to support a company that says they're not going to invest in wars, but they're going to invest in Italian football and or Celtic instead, preferably both, in my opinion. I know I would, but I don't have a huge amount of money, if I'm honest. Anyway, moving on, number 5, I'd love to work with others and share ideas. Again, I'd love to work with neurodiverse people and Eurasians, my fellow Anglo-Indians and other Eurasians, and mixed race people generally even. Again, I probably come to that point in more details, but look at how different agencies can work together, like FIFA, UEFA, and others around the world, and again, how they can work with governments, the police, charities, NGOs, and whatnot, and that kind of thing, to make the image of football better and to show what football can do to make the world a better place. Excuse the corniness of that. Number 6, I'll say I hope Italian football can work with FIFA, but as long as they do so, in a way which is not corrupt. So as long as they do so, I want Italian teams to be as successful as possible, but I really hope they can do so within the rules of the game. I hope they don't have to bribe officials, pay money or in brown paper envelopes or whatever it is, or be involved in any dodgy dealings. I hope they can do so with with better practices. So by practicing more, that is. So being victorious via superior practices rather than any sort of match fixing or any dodgy dealings, and things like that. Number 7, similar with Celtic. Again, hope Celtic works on tackling corruption. There's a sort of conspiracy theory amongst Celtic fans, which our arch rivals, the Rangers, often mock us for, but many Celtic fans think that the referees are on the side of Rangers. They often say like they're Masons or things like that. So maybe it would be interesting if there was an investigation into Scottish football. But yeah, so again, I'd love to see how Italian football and Celtic could work with FIFA and UEFA, or even footballing bodies around the world, like even in other continents as well. Although Italian football and Celtic are both based in Europe, in Italy and Glasgow or Scotland, obviously respectively. But working with African and Asian organisations on like practice matches, like and all Africa and all Asian against Italian teams, and all Celtic and things like that, and giving opportunities for young Italians and Celts, Celtic fans, to practice, and looking at how to get more people into football, even more people into football. And I think again, if there's more trust in the game, like if they know it's not like like wrestling, or it's not like scripted, or before the games even start, people know who's going to win. If it's not like that, and they know that the best, or if I take it literally, possibly the luckiest team wins, but certainly not the one that, if you believe in luck anyway, but let's say the best team wins, to keep it super simple, which I struggle to do, as you can probably tell. Number 8, once again, I'd love to see how more POC, people of colour, like Black, Asian, mixed race, Native American, maybe even Latino, Hispanic, and possibly Jewish or marginalised groups, or groups who suffer discrimination, how they can be involved in football, maybe even, as say, neurodiverse people, for instance, my fellow mixed race people, as I jokingly call as mutts, and things like that. And again, how football can be used to build bridges and tackle prejudice, and again, looking at how football can be a positive force for good in the world, for the greater good, and that kind of thing. Number 9, as I say, I'd love to read from and hear from other people's ideas and hopefully plan things in the future. And I suppose these are just the start of some of my ideas. And number 10, once again, I'd love to look into how to help young people to get into football, especially young Italian fans and Celtic fans, obviously with a bias. So like places and spaces for them to practice and play football. And also those in developing nations, and how football can be used to help young and disadvantaged people around the world. And also on that note, how to ensure there's no abuse in football, to try and tackle that as much as possible. So to keep children and young people and vulnerable people. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Don't know what happened to my voice there. I do say I'm an AI Anglo-Indian, but not that type of AI. I seem to have a malfunction there. But anyway, sorry, I stuttered there. But how to help them to stay safe and that kind of thing. Anyway, peace and love. I'm out.